Yo guys, what's going on? Speci here. Today I am on stream as I'm recording this one, but we're playing Nivellen Siege. We've done pretty decent with this. Of course, I uploaded a video a few days ago using Siege with Ard, and it's the same concept. Nivellen is 2 provisions cheaper than Ard, while also having 2 points more on his body. The big difference is he's not going to deal 2 damage, and also it has to be adjacent units, whereas Ard, you can select which ones. But this card for 2 provisions less pretty much does the exact same thing as Ard for not that many less points. And it's also flexible in the sense you can move units in the back row to the front row to line up your lacerate in a different row if you want to do that. So I do really like this card. It's also useful for instance, if a greatsword's on the back row, you can move that to the front. There's a few different things you can do with it. Certainly doesn't set the world on fire. At times, it can feel really lackluster, but when it works, it's really, really satisfying. To be honest, I'm kind of considering kicking this card just because on ladder today, I've been playing so much SK and it's not been seeming to do as much of a job against SK as I would hope. But I digress. The deck has switched up slightly. I was using Ronvid and 2 Revenants as a extra Hensel option. Essentially, your usual Hensel option against most decks is going to be this Trebuchet. So you play your Siege and then you play your Trebuchet comes out and your Hensel or Mobilization, your other Trebuchet, and that's going to cycle to the first chapter straight away, getting that battering ram out. And then if your opponent bomb heavers you, you just miss out on that bombardment. But of course, if your opponent's playing a devotion deck such as Skellige, you don't actually need to use your mobilization onto a Trebuchet, so it can actually be pretty reasonable to Hensel something else, or even use your siege in 1 round and then save your leader ability for another round. So we wanted an alternative leader target so that your siege isn't just tied to this Trebuchet. Because what happens a lot of the time is people will smell that you've got siege and they will try and bleed your siege out because they know as soon as you siege, you're probably going to use your leader. So not only do they get your leader ability, they get your siege as well. So what you can do with this deck against SK, for example, is sometimes you might want to be tempted to use your siege turn 1. It's a definite possibility against SK to try and win round 1 and then bleed them round 2. And then go for a short round 3 with Gwent Knights, getting out all their good cards. It's definitely an option. SK is a tough matchup, but I'm using oils to target SK instead of Forbidden Magics. Like I say previously, I was using Revenants with Ronvid, and Forbidden Magics were a really nice option. I'm still using Triss with Lacerate as well for that extra bit of flexibility. And you've just got lots of ways of dealing with your opponent's engines. Of course, Mulligan's pretty atrocious with this deck, having the Reinforced Trebuchet, the double Quadrini Knights, Bomb Heaver, Lacerate, Nivellen. So it's a bit weird. It's a bit of a weird one. But to use my favourite cliche, not gonna lie, the deck's got a lot of power. We'll get into a game. I do want to tweak and play around with it still. Like maybe you just ditch Triss or Nivellen, or I don't know. Like it's a weird one, man. It's a weird one. It's done well for us. It has. But I basically played like 6 games of SK in a row with it and lost pretty much all of the games against SK by a couple of points, which has felt a little bit sad. But we move. We'll see what we can do. Northern Realms. So most likely playing Uprising. Well, most likely playing Uprising. I've got a suspicion it's Uprising, but most likely playing whatever you call it, Devotion. So obviously Quadrini Knight's going to be a free kick, and you don't want the Trebuchet either, so let's just mulligan those. Now here's where it's a bit risky because I really don't want to hit this other knight, this other frigate, the other knight, and also the Bomb Heaver. So we'll just stop here. There's also Crack City Guard is an interesting one to include, but I just felt I didn't have enough in the way of siege engines at times. Like I'm forced out to play a lot of these siege engines round 1, and it's like, okay, what are you going to use for your mobilization in the future rounds? So frigate, tactical advantage. Not going to do much else, am I? Lack of soldiers is a definite issue you have with this one as well. Soldiers lacking and frigates lacking. So I was using 1 frigate for a while. You could also just use 1 frigate. Maybe save some provisions there. Ildico. Curious case. A highly curious case. Ildico, turn 1. What? What? Obviously, I could shield it to deny the boost. But is it really worth it? Probably, because he's going to call in Selkirk or Einsis. I could also Ballista to deny the boost, but it could just be a leader charge. Good oil. This oil is a bit safer in denying boosts, isn't it? Doesn't seem terrible. I just want to get out of this round, I think. That Ildiko is very scary. So Ildiko, if she's boosted... This is quite funny. Not gonna lie, this is quite funny. Ha ha! Ah! Straight to Sparta. For 8 provisions. Easy. So... do I get the pass here? Nope. Get the frigate back up and running. Can't complain too much. I doubt he's running a Strays of Spala himself, but I'm obviously quite scared of this Anna. Quite a lot of damage. I'm hopeful this just gets me out. Hopeful this just gets me out. Probably doesn't, to be completely honest, but he's playing into Lacerate as well. Does it get me out? I don't think so. Yeah, it does. Does it? Yep. Beautiful quad running night play. 12 points off the A, you can't really argue with that. So that round went really well. He played Ildiko, Anna, Selkirk, leader charge. I just used Nivellen. I mean, obviously, Nivellen's in lots of decks, so he's just not expecting anything weird going on here. Of course, I could have tried to win that with the Lacerate, but just felt a bit dodgy. So my mobilization most likely on to, just going to be on the Trebuchet here. Is he going to push? He's probably quite scared of siege. Understandably so. He's probably not that scared of siege. What deck is this that I'm playing against? Or I'm playing a Nivellen Siege deck. He's playing Ildiko with Selkirk. It's probably All God as well in there. He just didn't draw All God. So you use All God to buff up Ildiko, Selkirk, Einsis. If you guys would like me to do a deck guide on this one, let me know. I'll probably get you one for the start of next season. I'm trying to finish top 64 in the pro ladder, which gets me in qualifiers. I'm pretty close to it. So I'm kind of sweating it out a bit. Okay, so we can stop here. Let's follow Phil _3_. Yeah, you can see why I need this many siege engines as well. Like if I didn't want to use my mobilization on them. Nothing changes, everything's the same. Running around in circles trying to find my way. So, a couple of options. I could just go Caraballista, but there's also a very reasonable option of just going straight with siege and Henselting or mobilizationing, as it gives me on bombardment and battering ram. I've basically just clear up whatever he puts down, so I'm going to go for it. This is normally when Nivellen comes in, because you do this turn 1. Yeah. I also wonder how good Falibor is in this deck. Like, he's obviously great, but maybe you could just ditch him. He has the benefit of being a soldier. So, what this means is I've got 3 damage here, and 8 damage when I play this. 9 damage, in fact, with the Ballista, because it gets Zeal. Because my bombardment's going to do 8 damage. I can just clear up with battering ram plus Sheila here. So I don't need to use my bombardment value. Siege turn 1 seems sketchy. It does seem sketchy, but I've got this 8 removal, the battering ram coming in as well to just clear up his engines. So I've got that to start off with. I could also play Falibor and stuff like that now. I could go Triss for something. Triss oil. And this 8 removal is still just lurking under the surface, waiting to pounce. But it is sketchy. But he's also just going to play into Lacerate ultimately. So for instance, if I play Ballista here, it just cleans up. Seems good. Still not that bad. I obviously don't have much left, but he just forfeits. He's out of there. GG. Adios, amigo. Who needs Nivellen? Well, actually, Nivellen did pretty well. And that's why you siege turn 1. Even with no Nivellen. And you can also see why Nivellen would be good in that situation. Sort of. But maybe he's not that good. I don't know. But, I mean, he did just win me the game. But you could argue a Strays Espada would have won me the game too. Or a War Chariot. That's the other thing you could use. This War Chariot is a bit of movement while also being a siege engine. But it's only one bit of movement. But you could use Crack City Guards. But they're only movement. They're kind of weird movement too. Nivellen just feels kind of good in that situation a lot of the time. Okay. We're just going to do one more game because I'm going to end my stream soon. But I can do more of this Nivellen stuff. Okay, ethereal should be a win. It's just the problem is SK, man. But hopefully with the oils, you're teched more against SK than we previously were. We don't want this. Double oil is pretty bad against this deck. Cool. Does my opponent run Predatory Dive? Has he been watching Specimen Gwent stream and put in a random Predatory Dive? I'm gonna say no, no one watches that guy. He's a weirdo. Agreed. Wait. If I had Falibor, I could kind of shut this ethereal down. Actually, yeah, this is so true. I play this. He can't Caranthia ethereal. I can just kill it. I can just go blip, blip. So if he Caranthia's ethereal, ethereal comes in at 1 strength. And the other one will be at 4. Okay, blip, blip. What about both Nivellen and War Chariot? Is it overkill? You just don't have the provisions for it. You're just going to miss out on too many good cards. This is where I AA for a Mauler. He's worried. He's nervous. He's shutting his strategy down, innit? Nice. Obviously, I've got Lacerate for it anyway. But I want to Lacerate round 3. Or round 2. I want to win the round and then Siege Lacerate. Double Lacerate Triss. GG. It seems like a good idea trying to kill these, but it's just not. Just don't do it. Resist the temptation. Oh no, he can't even Caranthia. Oh, maybe I was supposed to kill these. I don't know, whatever, man. He doesn't have Caranthia. Also, what you can do with Nivellen is you can move 3 things into ethereal. Let's say he's got Goliath, Oberon, and something else in the front row. You can move all 3 of them into his ethereals, and they just get wrecked. Basically, what happens to them? They get wrecked. Want to make sure we win the round. Doing alright. The frigate's just carrying us through. It's doing its job. That's all the frigate's really there for. Obviously, it's got the benefit of being a siege engine as well in this deck. But the reason frigates are so good is they can just power you through a round. We just need the round win. This is also, though, where Forbidden Magics would come in a lot. You could use a Forbidden Magic to help you get through this round, but this doesn't really seem worth it, unfortunately, without you lose out on oils, which is just too good against SK. So I guess I just oil here. Probably plays for more than 5 points, slows him down a bit. I would expect him to play a big fat crone. Yeah, I mean, Nivellen's good, but he's definitely better than Ard, for sure. Ard was 10 provisions. This gives you a lot of flexibility. If you're using Ard instead of Nivellen, you basically have to lose your 2 Caraballistas and run 4 provision cards instead, which does harm the deck a lot. Or you could say run 1 oil, 1 Caraballista. For what? Like, Nivellen's just kind of better anyway. Cool, we win. Long round 3 with Lacerate, Siege, GG. GG. We also do want to use our leader ability onto... I think this is bad from hand here. Just gets thundered or Betseed. We'll just pass. We could do with the extra mulligan. But yeah, we want to use leader on our scenario because this deck runs Bomb Heaver. And he didn't squirrel my assault either, which is always nice, isn't it? But as you can see, I mean, obviously the first one was a bit of a weird uprising deck, but it's still uprising. We dealt with it. Should have oiled Night Wraith for Purify Value. Should I have? Squirrel! We have got a squirrel emote on the Twitch channel. It's pretty pog. Pretty good. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I've been getting abused for saying not gonna lie quite a lot, so I'm trying to get out of the habit. Another thing I've been doing really badly is not placing, when I play this ethereal deck, not placing my lava either side of my stratagem. But this is a kind of a free win since we won round 1. Twitch chat is now spamming the squirrel. Love to see it, love to see it. And he plays his big fat crone, which gets him some carryover on his future crones. Adds 2 damage and 2 buff to either crone. But it also makes his mulligans worse. So we've got 4 mulligans. So we're going to kick the knight. What am I still looking for? Not much. Is oil good? It's okay. I've got enough siege engines. Whatever, man. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It's an easy win. Easy dubs. We actually want him to ethereal the front, to be honest. So I can just lacerate the front. Excuse me. And siege the back. But we'll see what he does. He uses a Nero as well. There's ethereal, which feels pretty bad for him. Go on, place it in the front. Rip. It might mean he's holding Bomb Heaver, but... He thinks it's all over. Little does he know I was going to destroy this Roni with my Lacerate, but oh well. You can normally actually shut these ethereals down as well quite early with this deck. And then just Nivellen other stuff into this row. Is this a Battering Ram? Plus... Oh wow, that's bad value there. So, one sec. Doesn't this just clear up? I'm pretty sure it does. Fallible clears up. Agreed. So does Lacerate, actually. Does anything else clear up? Lacerate does. Or Fallible, so we'll take the Fallible. Am I right in this, or am I talking rubbish? Have I just thrown? I've not played it yet. Oh my goodness, I got worried. Yeah, it does. No, it doesn't. Almost through. It's Lacerate, isn't it? Fallible doesn't do it. Oh my goodness, almost, chat. Almost. Then my last 2 pings hit this. And this is where he forfeits. This is where he forfeits, by the way. Incoming forfeit. Wait for it. Wait for it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ah, damn. Thought I had it. Thought it was over. Thought it was over. He's just going to rope. Now he starts playing in the front row. Nivellen. Oh. Never mind. No point of calling my second frigate because I only have a couple soldiers. Guess I could call it in. But I've also got knight for 12 points on this and 7 points on this. That's pretty good. And Triss isn't a guaranteed lacerate in this one either. Unfortunately. This denies his trigger value. I think it's fine to leave this here. I still want a Nivellen. Don't mind Nivellen in the fruit as well. I just want to Nivellen 3 things in it rather than 2. And I've just got a hand of solid cards. So this is where Nivellen does come in. If this was just like a straight Spala or a War Chariot, it feels pretty bad. Because you're moving one thing. Whereas Nivellen moving 3 things is just pretty sick. Especially when you can move stuff into your lacerate row as well. Even when you're not playing. So I could have used this. That's fine. Whatever. Oh. Okay, so I saved Nivellen for my lacerate row now. I just shut this down probably. Whatever. I don't think it really matters. You're not really supposed to kill the fruit, but I've won this game. He has nothing left. Maybe I was just supposed to call in this frigate. Would have got a lot of points. Probably was. It's probably a misplay. I was supposed to AA the frigate and then just a Neuromancy the knight. I got very greedy there. That's a misplay. He's played Parasite, actually. I think I'm safe to call this in. He's played Betsy and Parasite and the Damage Crone. I can just do this now. I'm trying to get Dominance back. Oh, he might have a Thunder though. You could just have a Thunder, to be fair. This would be impressive if I managed to lose in it. I respect this guy for still going. But I've got Baron on whatever he buffs up as well. I am quite surprised he's not passed. Given up. Thrown the towel in. But, alas, he soldiers on. Which you have to sort of respect. In comes the Nalgafar's crew. Not worried of any more removal apart from a Thunder, but he would have taken the Thunder there. Strigger as well. Yeah, Strigger's the other thing I do need to be careful of, actually. Oh. We'll Nivellen everything for a nice juicy lacerate, or we could just take the, whatever you call it. We'll move these to the front, so then if I want to kill Goya, if I get the oil, I'll just move to the front. He's probably going to... that's a bit of a misplay, isn't it? That's quite a big misplay. Oh well. I think we'll get away with it. I have a suspicion we might be alright. Oh! What he said. What he said. I think Nivellen deserves to be 7 provisions. I'd love to see it. Would you love to see it? Let me know in the comment section below the video. Yeah! Call me Ocean Mud. Yeah! Huh? Easy, easy. See? I am Ocean Mud in disguise. Yeah! Boomzilla. GG, sir. Oh, oh. 1 sec. Do we get GG? Uh, uh, oh, he mad. Oh, no GG. Feels bad. So, that's the deck. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to end my stream now. Oh, we can. Sorry, Boomzilla. I take it back. Respect. GG. It does feel pretty good. You can see why I like Nivellen as well. It just lines up a lacerate. It plays for 11 points. Just there. If it just lines up 3 for a lacerate. And obviously it can just play for your assault. It actually moved the Selkirk as well. So you've got that extra bit of, you know, adaptability as a movement tech. The Knights feel really good. I think it's better than going Revenants because you include Ronvid. A couple of cards you might want to consider. Forbidden Magics over Oils. But I think you just need Oils for the Skellige matchup. You might want to include a single Cursed Knight instead of one of these Air Blisters or Oils. You also could ditch a Frigate and just run 1. I think you probably want to run 2 though. War Chariot's not terrible. Probably about it. Crack City Guard as well. You could use Crack City Guard as my neighbour zooms past. You could go Crack City Guard. I think this card's just not that good though in an actual movement deck because it just gets answered. It is a soldier though, which helps. So more soldiers would not be a bad thing. Falibor, you could ditch. I think he's just too good to ditch. Heatwave would be nice. That's about it though. I think the deck's pretty much there. I'd say this is probably the best list that I found. And I think I can get it like to a fairly decent MMR. And I have to shout out, I'm sorry to be so late on it, Dezel49 in my Twitch chat, who said, what about Nivellen instead of Ard? So big shout out to Dezel, thanks for the idea, man. If anyone's ever got an idea in my Twitch that improves a deck or gives me a deck idea, they get a VIP badge. It's not much, but it's the least I can do. But I've got to shout Dezel out. Should have done it at the start of the video. But if I can get some Let's Go Dezel with 2 L's, 2 Z's, and a 49 in the comment section, that'd be pretty nice because he deserves it, man. So thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, make sure you check me out on Twitch if you want to see more stuff. Subscribe and that. Hopefully, just show where we're at as well. If in case any of you are wondering, the objective is to finish top 64 in the world without playing Skellige. That's the new objective. Why isn't it even better than Ard? Well, it's 2 provisions cheaper, which 2 provisions is an awful lot. 2 provisions is a big deal. It lets the rest of your deck be better. It's also not even much worse because the damage on Ard doesn't really do that much. It normally takes away your lacerate value. It normally takes away your trebuchet value anyway. So yeah, this is where we're at. Scoia'tael I got super high super early. I actually think I can get this quite a bit higher. Monsters I've been playing ethereal and climbing a lot with today. NR, I'm hopeful we can get higher with the Siege deck. If not, I'm going to play for Axis. And then this is just not even my 4th faction. It's going to be Nilfgaard, which I've barely played. So yeah, that's the objective. I need to get probably 150 more MMR to solidify it. So let's say I get my Nilfgaard up by 100, which I think is pretty reasonable to say. I'm pretty much there. And my Northern Realms up by another 30. Maybe improve these by a couple as well. I think we can pull it off. Yeah, I think it's achievable. Because I'm 121, but this faction doesn't really do me justice. Because I've just only really played 3 factions. As Syndicate, Congregation is just not... This is Congregation, it's just not going to be good enough. But yeah, the objective is get to top 64, which would be my first time doing that. It's my first time going for it. But if we can do it without SK, we'll be the only person to do it. And I'll have the respect of the community, hopefully, if we can pull that one off. But I will warn you, my Nilfgaard deck, oh my goodness, it's going to be an absolute disgrace. I'm not going to upload it on YouTube. If you want to see that Nilfgaard deck in action, that's strictly for the Twitch, because I do not want to do deck guides on decks that are just an absolute disgrace. This is the exact reason I've not done a single Skellige deck guide this season. I mean, I've also not played it much. 14 games of SK, I know, man. A few of them were with Lippy Master Mirror. That's the only Skellige I've uploaded, but not gonna lie. I said it. I've been pretty bad with Skellige when I've actually played it, because I've barely ever played it. If you look at my Gwent history over 3 years, all on NL. We're 2 wins away from 1,000 with monsters. Nilfgaard's got a lot, but this was all beta. I used to play a lot of Nilfgaard in beta. I've barely touched it since Homecoming, and I've actually Square Tail was like down in the dumps. I barely won any games for Square Tail. I was probably at 100 wins with it. And Syndicate I'd barely played up until a couple months ago either. So on Homecoming, since Homecoming, which is like when Gwent came out of beta, I'd only played Northern Realms, and then I started playing a bit of Keltalis as well. But in the last like 2 or 3 months, I've started branching out, which has been really cool. Congregation Crimes was a big help in that. And then I've slowly branched out this season to Square Tail, of course, and I still need to branch out to Nilfgaard and Skellige. But we'll get there. We'll get there, slowly but surely. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching the video. English is hard. I'm going to go now. Deck guide in the description. Thanks for all the support. It's pretty mad. What decks would you like to see me do next? Probably going to be focusing on competitive decks up until the end of the end of this season. But I'm also planning on doing a few Easter egg type videos of like card Easter eggs and stuff like that. So yeah, let me know what you would like to see. Bye.